Hi there, Aries. Love and light to you all here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm in a bit of a different space, and there's a lot of moving around here. So, don't mind the shoes in the closet. Don't mind also the shirts hanging off of the bed here. Okay, we're good, Aries, right? All right, let's get on with your reading, and thank you all so much for connecting here with you. And it's very exciting, Aries. We're here with you, your very personal January 2019 reading, and let's see here what comes through for you around this time. And we're moving through as well the new moon in Capricorn coming up. All right, and so quite a period here. I'm hearing in that way for you, Aries. I'm hearing it's been a long, but one second, Aries. Let's back up. Okay, I'm hearing we can talk about the future. Beautiful, wonderful. But we need to be clear here on what we are calling. I'm hearing the past officially. Wow, I'm hearing that specifically. For Nuri, there's something of a focus on clarifying and cleansing even the past. Yep, big time. I'm hearing for Nuri clearing. Yep, big time. You got the 10 of Wands in reverse. Some swords in reverse. For number you, there's something you feel you are to even direct, to kind of call out. I'm hearing very directly. Okay, to say, you know what? This is my movie. I'm hearing hello everyone. Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for making it to the event here. The moon in reverse in the string. That's right. But I am starring. I'm hearing in the film as a whole new. I'm hearing future. I'm hearing future 500 company. I'm hearing in that way for a number. I'm hearing also. I'm hearing forecaster with a chariot and the 7 of cups up right now. Before we get into it, a whole lot of energy are coming through, but it's getting specifically, Aries, that there is this kind of feeling of there being something that you feel has been. I'm hearing a naming game. I'm gonna say it like that, like something where you felt like. I'm hearing it's not in or out. I'm hearing it's not yes or no. It's also not up or down. I'm hearing it's not, this or that. It's the what. I'm hearing, is it about whatever it is that makes me, I'm hearing make it. I'm hearing come alive. So for a number of you, there's something of a space of how do I identify my cause? I'm hearing in that way for a number of you. How do I love what I do? I'm hearing without learning, I'm hearing the name of it. Interesting. So for a number of you, you're like, okay, I don't want to just like make a decision. Here comes the Justice card up right with it. All right, over the Ace of Swords. Oh, look, I'm hearing specific. Look, I don't want to make a decision. Okay. Just based, I'm hearing on the jersey that I'm wearing. I'm hearing in that way for number. I'm hearing this specifically. I do not want to make. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you want me. I'm hearing that as well. And for a number of you, Aries. One in there for you. Okay, just in case people were wondering. All right, what your story is all about. I'm here in that way. And Aries speaks of the first house, right? It speaks of Mars energy, Martian fire energy. And there is a focus perhaps on what you feel you've been generating, what you feel that you are also to absolutely play a leadership role with. Like, no doubt, no question. I'm hearing I am I'm hearing the caption for the image. Wow. So for a number of you, wow, if you think about the caption, right? It kind of accompanies the image, right? We think about the image, okay, that's a sort of representation. That's what is actually delivered. I'm hearing that as well. And then you've got this sort of, I'm hearing this immersion profile. I'm hearing of the experience. I know it's a bit abstract here. Okay, take it as you will, Aries. But for a number of you, you've got the 2 of Cups coming through upright and Justice card. For a number of you, you're head over heels in love with somebody. No question, especially if you're dealing with a Cancer. I'm hearing that. Specifically, I'm hearing chapter book. I'm hearing the letter P. Playwright. I'm hearing specifically here with the Chariot, Mirror, and the Justice card, and the Ace of you. This could also be a part of your chart. Cancer speaks of also the home. All right. For a number of you, perhaps there's this space of regeneration around the concept of home. What does home mean for me? And I'm saying for a number of you, you're like, listen, I'm no longer in that state. I'm hearing you like perhaps even talking to me. You're like, look, I'm hearing Henry. Look, I'm hearing don't try to bend the pencil, okay, too hard to make it. I'm hearing write my name out there. I don't know what that's. I'm hearing say my name. This could also be you with you, all right, but let's get back into it. For Nuri, it's like, I'm seeing again, you're just telling someone, look, don't try and title, okay? I'm hearing the magazine to make it something official for you. Okay, what makes this, I'm hearing, this house a home is not the name of it. I'm hearing in that way. It's the emotion. I'm hearing that it expresses. I'm hearing freely. To us, I'm hearing without, I'm hearing a written word. Interesting. I'm here and I'm seeing, like, it's funny. I'm seeing somebody actually inviting someone to their home, and this can be, again, this could be in a proverbial sense, like, this is my home that is inviting me. I'm hearing that as well, and I'm seeing actually like a home that's giving an invite out. It's really interesting with the Daughter of Cups here and the Six of Cups and the Justice of Cups. I'm seeing someone's perhaps even inviting people over, and they're like, look, this is my home here, and I don't know what. Okay, but I'm seeing, like, maybe there's even a question of I'm hearing there you might be there's a transition period here with the Chariot, the Six of Cups, and the Justice card. I'm hearing I don't know where to put my things. I'm hearing that as well with the Magician upright. I'm hearing the Chariot. Again, this could be happening on so many levels. I'm hearing Cancer, Capricorn specifically. All right, Aries, but let's say it in this way yet again. All right, there's something that you feel perhaps you are even kind of in the process of interpreting. Okay, like maybe you have something perhaps even that you want to share, to extend, and be at a space, right, that you've kind of immersed yourself in already to a certain degree, that you feel I want to now kind of invite others to participate in that space in some kind of way. Okay, and if that's the case, specifically Aries, I'm seeing with the Daughter of Cups and the Chariot, there's something that you feel, it's like, I'm hearing I don't want to deliver this message as a rule. I'm hearing that as well, like that others need to follow. Okay, interesting. I'm saying, like, there's something that you feel you also don't want to have to kind of like explain. Yep, Father, Swords, and Reverse. I don't want to have to like tell people my philosophy. I'm hearing, you know, in a way that you know, that again describes yes in relation to no. Like, I don't want to have to say that it's a yes thing and, you know, then thereby not a no thing. Like, I'm saying for you're like, I want it to be kind of no name. I'm hearing that specifically for a number of you. And 6, 7, 11 right there. So whatever that may mean in particular for you, if that is a target number as well, I'm hearing target number. Could be a goal as well. Okay, I'm hearing with the proceeds, the Son of Swords in reverse, mirroring the Father Swords in reverse. Father Swords is stuck like glue to this Chariot upright. Okay, yeah. So for now, you're like, no way am I not moving forward just because I also don't have a name. I'm hearing that specifically, like, the baby will be born. Okay. Now, maybe not if I don't know. All right, I want to call it. You know, once it does welcome us, I'm hearing to its world. Wow. So there's something that you feel like you're simultaneously bringing into the world, but at the same time kind of being brought into. I'm hearing the space of I'm hearing understanding. I'm hearing emotionally. I'm hearing in that way. One second. Eventually. Oh, so for 1 second. Aries, for a number of you. You got the world that leads you out. For a number of you, and it's mirroring the Chariot with the Magician. There's something that you feel it's all a matter of the landing spot. I'm hearing, and you feel like, okay, that it cannot be one of hesitation. To say it in this way, that perhaps there's something you feel you are kind of like living through. Even storyboarding, I'm hearing in that way, like you're like, this is something that will require a number of steps. I'm hearing agency with the Chariot and the Magician. I can't just kind of like stall. I'm hearing as well with it. I need to move forward. I need to take the next step, even if I don't really entirely know what the story kind of leads to right at that point. But that's okay, because I have my mission, I'm hearing, in mind with the world. Now, but what's interesting, because I'm seeing that there is a question here, a really big question when it comes to what this world looks like. I'm seeing like, you're like, I have no idea. For you may actually be moving abroad or to a place that feels super, I'm hearing S. I'm hearing Sedona here with the Chariot, Magician, 10 of Pentacles coming through. I feel here with the Mother of Wands and the Daughter of Wands that have both popped out at the same time with the 9 of Swords in reverse, the base of the Chariot. I'm hearing an expectation. Okay. With a Star in reverse, right over the Mother of Wands and the I'm hearing a vision in mind. 1 second. A value. Okay, now it's funny because I'm seeing somebody who's actually moving with like one piece. I'm hearing a furniture. I'm hearing as well on the way with the chairs. Like, look, all I need is just this one movie scene. I'm hearing the whole movie. You could throw away the rest of the book. Thank you, though. I'm hearing that specifically with the Chariot and the Magician. Like, you got the Temperance card coming through as well. For number you big time moving. For number of you, you're moving into the next phase of your career. I'm hearing that as well. Oh, big time for number. Yeah, it has to do with learning. Perhaps you're thinking about taking a big next step here, a big jump here with the Temperance card and the Son of Swords. I'm hearing, I was just joking about that. Nope. I'm hearing this is the rope that you're gonna hold on to. I'm hearing you're gonna pull yourself. I'm hearing from that ladder. I'm hearing into the next rung. Wow. For number, you're actually like you're reaching a whole new freaking level. I'm hearing in that way, a whole new freaking level, Aries, in your career, and it can be in the way of how you're communicating even about your work. I'm hearing freelancer here with Hangman reverse, Daughter of Wands are right, Eight of Wands are right. For number, you're like, I have no idea what is to come. No clue. I'm hearing at all. I have, though, I'm hearing a version of the story. One second. Now, not to say that you have absolutely no feeling space that's separate. I'm hearing in that way. Like, maybe somebody is even challenging you on this, Aries, perhaps, or like, I'm hearing specifically Aquarius, who's overly logical. I don't know what that's legit here with the Father's reverse. Like, I'm hearing you've learned to kind of talk about things, as side notes. I'm looking at the clock right there, 11:11. So there's something perhaps you feel, and it could be you with you. It could be like, I can't tell my brain that we're doing this. I'm seeing somebody like, Aries, they're like thinking of making a huge move, okay? Maybe even like across the country. I'm hearing in that way. I'm hearing the letter S. I'm hearing Sedona. And I'm hearing stocks and bonds. I'm hearing trading, stock market. It's like somebody like, they're thinking of, again, making this move. They tell themselves, look, we can't tell. Okay, like, you know, your brain about this, your heart totally on board. Your heart, maybe also your body, like you are waking up. I'm hearing that specific. I mean, DNA shifting here, big time. A major activation here. I'm hearing of the crystal body. I'm hearing cells. I'm hearing the cellular matrix. I'm hearing micellular. I'm hearing also water. With the Temperance card upright and the Magician for number, you're like, I'm hearing in Arizona. I'm hearing that again very strongly with the Magician. I'm hearing also in Arkansas. I'm hearing AK. I'm hearing Alaska. I'm hearing as well. I'm hearing Anchorage. Yep. Daughter, Cups upright. Hermit and Reverse. Remember, this is a healing site that you're actually working out of, or that you're working in. It's a healing site. There's something with the physical space there. It's really, I'm hearing the letter R as well. Reno, Nevada. I'm hearing Redondo. I'm hearing as well Beach. The Hermit. It could be a, I'm hearing shake. There's something shaking, movement, a lot of movement in that space, whatever it may be. The Chariot mirroring the Mother Wands. Now, for a number of you, I'm hearing that song by Kygo. Da-da, stole the show. Da-da, stole the show. There's a question of the story, and you have the Judgment card here in the middle of the spread. Now, what does that mean, right? You have the Magician, who is the storyteller of the Zodiac, looking at the Judgment card, right? At the end of the day, the story doesn't really matter. I'm hearing in that way. When you have the brand, I'm hearing specifically broadcasted out. Funny, because what I'm seeing is that there's somewhat of a space of interpretation, even a little bit of adventure. I will say it like that, where you're like, again, I have no idea what no means here. I'm hearing in relation to yes as well. It could actually be culture shock for no. If you're actually, if you've moved, if you are in a new, let's say, environment. What is new? But in an environment that you feel, I feel like a newcomer. I'm hearing that specific. I'm hearing the letter M. I'm hearing Madrid. I'm hearing also May. I'm hearing in May, in June. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. I'm hearing immersion program. Okay, this is something perhaps as well that you had sort of interacted in the space of, but very briefly. I'm hearing very, very briefly around that time. Like, we're talking like maybe you had just a sip, I'm hearing, of water. I'm hearing as you walked through that room. I'm not sure what that's about. Like, this was maybe something of even, I'm hearing a high chance of moving too. I'm hearing it like that's specific. I'm seeing somebody, yeah, okay, well, Aries. And by the way, this is a channeled message. Channeled in addition to tarot, and somebody may be like, well, what's going on? What in the world is she talking about? Okay, we have the Magician? Who's the Magician? Okay, what does the Magician have to say about, water here? Okay, so here comes the Daughter of Cups. We're talking about water right there. The Daughter of Cups comes through, mirroring the Magician, sandwiching the Ace of Pentacles. So for in the Father of Cups. Okay, and the Chariot. So for a number of you, you're like in this space where you're like perhaps feeling that things, okay, things are kind of, all a matter of how you see them. Or I will just say it like that. It's like, you know, it won't make sense. I'm hearing that specifically. If we try to look at the situation and make sense of it, it won't do it. It won't do it for us. Like, I'm hearing that specifically. Like, whenever you feel perhaps you're in this space and in this state of feeling like, the only way I can work on this as well is with my mind, okay? And maybe you feel like there are people in your environment or some kind of influences that do not belong. I'm hearing in the space of your, I'm hearing of your knowledge, Aries. I'm hearing it specifically in that way. For a number of you, you know something. And it's not something that you would know in relation to what others would know. Let's just say it like that. And people will inevitably question that space. They'll be like, how do you know what you know? I'm hearing the seed of life. I'm hearing also of nutrition. For a number, like you have some sort of healing. I'm hearing also some kind of wisdom, knowledge, capability, even to understand a certain space, to really also extrapolate it, to say, well, I know how it is. I'm hearing how it is that this space kind of operates. And for a number of you, it's like, yet again, like not a lot of people will really perhaps be receptive to that, as it might be felt. Like on a logical level, I'm hearing on the logical paradigm, like maybe there are people perhaps who you feel would not invest. I'm hearing in that space. I'm hearing it specifically, and you know what, Aries, that's okay, right? I'm hearing the Hermit has its title of right, the Hermit, for a reason, right? It's been, I'm hearing, mummified. I'm hearing for many years. I'm hearing in that way the Hermit. Now this is, I'm hearing related to the closet. I'm hearing the Hermit and the Magician. I'm hearing the letter C so strongly. I'm hearing the Clove. I'm hearing clove as well. For you dealing with herbs here, big time. The Magician and the Hermit. I'm hearing jingling of bells like crazy. I don't know. I'm seeing like somebody with like, they're in this room and they've got even jewelry. I'm hearing pendants and they're working with them. I don't know what that's about, but there's like herbs and then also like crystals. I'm hearing Stella. I'm hearing as well. Okay, could be astrology. All right, but anyway, the Devil coming through in reverse. I'm hearing the Magician. For number, you have Aries. You've got some serious healing abilities. This is not a joke. I'm hearing this, and you know it, Aries. Stop that now. I'm hearing that specifically. This could be, you know, something that you've been starting to realize. Even this is perhaps for it's like, well, I know that I have this ability, and I'm seeing like you kind of have you've addressed it as this ability, and you like kind of turn to acknowledge this ability, and then you kind of turn the other side, and you're like, well, I know that. Okay, but you know, what's the world gonna look like? I'm hearing that this ability thrives in. Wow. So I'm hearing it also lives through, speaks to, and even becomes. Okay, for another, you're thinking about the future. You know, you're like, right here, right now, I know I have this ability. But the question is perhaps, how do I see it expanding in the space of my dream, okay? Of the dynamic that it takes on. 1 second. Carries on for me. Perhaps it's even something that you want to teach people big time. Oh yeah, big time. You're like, I know. You know, and again, it's like, I'm hearing sickness to wealth. I'm hearing sickness to wealth. Okay. It's like, you know, star upright. You have also perhaps some kind of indication in your birth chart that may absolutely speak of this this ability in particular, and it may actually have to do with I'm hearing your tonsils. I'm not sure what that's about. Perhaps the throat chakra as well. The Temperance card upright, mirroring the Magician upright. There's perhaps actually a focus on the chakras. I'm hearing that specifically. Working with colors, the aura, light. Okay. I'm hearing for a number, you're a dancer. I'm hearing that specifically, and you were destined for the starlight. I'm hearing that specific. The starlight, not just the limelight, but the starlight, the star's light, the star, and to say it in this way from the star in the chart, you know that your work is guided. I'm hearing that as well. The Magician coming through, mirroring the chariot and the star. You know, don't Aries, don't. Yeah, but no, please. Nine of Swords in reverse. Let's just, you know, stop talking about what we know is not even the point of the discussion, right? I'm hearing the point is the Magician's move, right? The Magician's actually movie that he sees in his mind's eye. I'm hearing in that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be, right, associated with a masculine archetype, right? It can be associated as well with the feminine. The Empress just fell on the ground. Okay, but that's going to take some work. I'm hearing that specific. I'm not sure what that's alluding to, but for number 3, there's something that you feel you need to get stronger to. Okay. I'm hearing address. I'm hearing one second. Evolve. One second. A story with. One second. This is for a number of you. I'm here. I can't stop thinking about them. This is obsession with the Magician and the Empress. It may be a vision that you have. You're like, I know that this is my future. And it may have to do with the number 3. You have the Empress here on the floor. This is the 3rd card of the Major Arcana. It has to do as well with your personal story. Now, for a number of you, you might feel like, okay, this is a huge step that I take in my world. And I know that. So it will require of me to be willing. I'm here also to share my story. I'm here in that way. And if that is the case, all right, okay, here it in that way. Aries, what's easy and what's hard is not really a moral matter at that point. I'm here in that way. It's not like, I think this is the right decision. Let me just, let's do it. Let's start. It's more a matter of the cycle that you feel you are kind of interpreting your work through, your physical also work through. Okay. The lens of, so let's say it in this way, on an emotional level, right? It's like, how do we feel that we're emotionally ready to translate our work in the physical dimension? Interesting. So even spiritually, what you've moved through, right? Energetically, it's like, I know that that's not the end of the story as well. I want to somehow, and this can be the case for a number of you, that you perhaps again that you have some sort of talent, some ability, some gift, and you're like, I don't want it to just go to waste. Okay, I'm hearing that as well. I don't want to just have this ability of mine on a personal level for myself. I'm hearing that as well. You're like, I want to be able to share this knowledge. For a number of you, you have again some kind of knowledge, or perhaps even an experience that you've had. It could be a cycle of experiences. It could be even extending into past lives. I'm hearing the letter F so strongly. I'm hearing P as well with the Son of Pentacles and the Hermit and the Mother, but this is something that you've been, I'm hearing first with here. I'm hearing for a number of lives now with the Hermit and the same way you've been a master of this craft. Plain and simple with the Mother of Pentacles, somebody you're like, again, I know it. I have no freaking question. This is not something that you're like, what? I'm hearing salsa dancing. I don't think so. No, this is like, did they just say solving equations with memory? Oh yeah. that game. I'm hearing of making money. Interesting. Oh wow. For now, you may actually work with trends. One second. Oh, even past life regression with the Mother of Pentacles. Let's not get into that though. Okay. Whatever it is though, with the Mother of Pentacles, Mother of Wands, and the Daughter of Cups, for a number of you, it's no surprise to say it in this way yet again. It's like you've known, okay, like maybe even for a number, you've known that this is an ability that you've had, but you were kind of like, well, do I talk about it like publicly? Again, I'm hearing that, and I'm seeing flowers here. For now, you are an alchemist. Okay, you actually work with herbs. You work with tinctures. I'm hearing that as well. Maybe you're thinking about talking about this more publicly. The Father of Swords in reverse. For a number of you, major alchemy. Father of Cups in reverse. Magician upright. You are a I'm hearing a world class. I'm hearing affair. Hold on, with the Magician in front of you, you may actually you may be going to Las Vegas as well. I'm seeing that for a number of you here, but I'm not sure what that's alluding to with the Magician. But there's something that you're even like you're also finally, one second. Again, I'm hearing you're first. Aries, you're first in line. Like there's something that you feel like you have experience also in the space of. I'm hearing it's a matter of time. I'm hearing also temperance. One second, this may have to do with international affairs. Something having to do with like cultures, countries. I'm hearing across the world. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing borders here with the Magician and the Temperance card. And this could be also in your mind, where visually you have like some kind, one second. No, I'm hearing vacation as well. This is perhaps somewhere that you've also traveled to for a big time. You're moving or you're traveling. You're the Magician and the Chariot. Lovers, in terms of for a number of you are starting to think about this space very seriously, perhaps of travel or even expanding your presence globally. One second, but this is something that you've been even offered. Okay, and it could have been like very brief. I'm hearing even back in October, August. I'm hearing that as well with the Father Cups in reverse, the Lovers upright. I'm hearing it was a suggestion. I'm hearing a very simple suggestion here with the Lovers upright and the Father Cups in reverse, Justice upright. Somebody was thinking, well, I don't know about this. Is this you know, I don't know, maybe somebody perhaps even presented something, but they didn't quite like fully invite them into that space. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. Like maybe someone was even anonymous in that space. Like maybe it was just something that was passed on. It's like, oh, here, you know, take this baton. And then I'm seeing like somebody like who like takes this baton in hand, and it's like, okay, the person who directly handed it to them maybe is not the original. I'm hearing bear also of that news. I'm hearing of that decision. I'm not sure as well what that might be alluding to for you. Ten of Wands coming through upright in the future. For number Aries, get ready to clear out the closet. Okay, we are gonna say it like that. Make sure you have your glasses though, because there will be. I'm hearing a few. I'm hearing 4 rooms lingering there. I'm not sure what that's about. Like, I'm seeing somebody maybe needs to even, like, make sure that I'm seeing someone taking out, like, even a magnifying glass. Or, like, I need to make sure, like, I haven't left anything here, okay? I'm hearing any bits of my story. I'm hearing even evidence here. One second. I'm hearing shark. It could be financially. Devil in reverse. Maybe, like, even slowing a certain business down. One second. In order to talk about a new position. One second. It could be professional in the Magician of Bright. One second, Aries. I'm starting to talk about it. For now, I'm hearing I'm also stalking it. Okay. So there's something that you're even reviewing, or some space that is reviewing you big time, Aries, especially if you're dealing with a Capricorn. And, oh, you're dealing with Capricorn, Aries? They're watering your seed. I'm hearing in your garden every night. Okay. And you don't even know it because they're coming in the middle of the night. I mean, that's the key plot point there. Okay. It's like they're checking in, they're buzzing in. I'm hearing in the middle of the night. Again, I'm hearing that specifically. I'm seeing somebody doing like even nighttime gardening. With the Devil in reverse, like looking at the Magician and the Devil, like, and the Ace of Swords. Like there's somebody who is really like stalking. I'm hearing again in that way, Aries, like, and it is perhaps related to, I'm hearing an eventual invite. I'm hearing that perhaps they're thinking of making. I'm hearing it could be a contract. I'm hearing specifically, it could even be a position that perhaps they're thinking of kind of extending. I'm hearing in some way, even talking about, like, okay, you lead out with the Ace of Pentacles for me, perhaps you're really moving. Aries is very exciting. Time to start looking at the Ace of Pentacles. Let's pull a few more cards for you and see what comes. One second. Ooh. Okay. As I was collecting these cards, I heard and I saw the Strength card. Now, it's not the Strength card, it's the Lovers. So for number, perhaps you're in some space in which you are feeling like, and to say it in this way, that when I brought the cards together, there was one card that just the very top of a card that caught my eye, and it was the top of the Lovers card. I was thinking of the Strength card. So there's something perhaps you feel is not so much a matter of immediacy, okay, like immediately kind of also inventing. I'm hearing in that way. I'm hearing also I'm hearing address, like in a certain way. I'm hearing to attract. For me, perhaps it's a space of how you are remaining kind of involved regardless in the space of kind of like reviewing. I mean, one second. This is perhaps a specific message for number of Lovers. I'm hearing the Judgment card. This is something that you are even... okay, let's backtrack. This is a discussion. It could be a negotiation as well. And if that is the case... I'm seeing it's like this, like no one wants to feel like they're either buttoning up the blouse or buttoning it down. Like they don't want to make things perhaps official, but it's not because they don't want to, okay? It's because there is the process to which they feel they are defining things. I'm hearing and presenting them that is the focus. So if we're to say in this way that you don't want to feel that you are, I'm hearing this for a number, also alienating your reasons. Oh, funny. Like for why you're doing what you're doing. Like in other words, it's like, look, I want to do this, but I don't want to come out and say I'm doing it like for the sake of these reasons I'm hearing, or others. So there's something perhaps you feel like you just want to kind of even go anonymous with a little bit. I'm not sure what that's alluding to, like, and it can be on a perceptive level where you're like, I don't want to have to feel like I'm working with the psychology of the space to kind of like manifest it. I'm hearing as well to make it make sense. Ace of Swords in reverse. So let's say it as well in this way. For now, you're following your intuition. You're like, I don't want to have to evaluate also everything about what this move becomes for me. Okay, interesting. interesting. So yeah, I'm saying you want to move into a space, perhaps in a way that it feels open-minded as well, where you're like, again, I want to kind of be open to where also the discussion could go. Yeah, big time for Neverview. It's like, I want to maybe even research. I want to be open to what I might find in that space as well. The Lovers upright, and it could be socially, or you're like, I want to kind of see, you know, what could become of this space. I'm hearing that specifically the Magician, Lovers, and it might be, again, some space that you feel kind of at first unfamiliar with, perhaps a little bit, where you're like, I don't really understand exactly how it would work out. Okay, but that's okay. Go to the Six of Cups, I'm hearing the Magician. After all, it is emotion and love that feeds, right, the furnace. I'm hearing that specifically. Okay, and we speak about fire, right? The furnace. We speak about passion. We can. Attraction. You have the Temperance card mirroring the Magician. Both cards speaking of Sagittarian energies. And they're both looking into the future. There's a focus on the vision. Okay. And, you know, if you think about fire specifically, right, what fuels it? Okay. Water can fuel it, right? If you add a little touch of water, it fuels it. If you add too much water, it'll put it out. So we have here the balance of that space, the Six of Cups, the six, right, being the number of balance, 3 and 3 again. For you dealing with, even a Gemini or some focus, some space that involves communication, writing, speaking, I'm hearing even relatives. I'm hearing that related to the Six of Cups. It could be a family space. Okay. Thank you so much, Aries. We're doing love and light to you all here. One more note. The Empress is sitting on the ground and she's mirroring here the Six of Cups. They're quite kind of parallel to one another, quite literally. And you have the Star upright mirroring the Six of Cups. I'm hearing specifically, stop getting distracted. I'm hearing that with the Tower. The Tower. This is the Star, but I said the Tower. So there's something that you feel. Ooh. And the Temperance card. There's something that you feel. You are feeling your way through. And what is interestingly, yet again, the name of this game for you, perhaps Aries, for a number of you, is your ability to recognize, to realize what you feel in every moment of it. To see it in this way that no matter what I experience in this space, how is it that I remind myself of simply what I realize of this space? It's to say that I don't feel intimidated by the space itself. I don't feel that in any way the environment kind of, distracts me. I'm hearing that again, like to say it in the way that what is it, right? That is our navigation through this space. And it is for number strongly so this feeling of faith where you know without question. It's so funny because as I'm looking at myself here and I'm seeing smoke. Like as you're speaking, I'm seeing smoke coming out of your mouth. I don't know what that's linked to Aries, but the Star and the Six of Cups. And no, I'm not on drugs. I mean, for a number of you, some people comment, they're like, are you like, you're how many types? You don't know? No. This is, I'm channeling and this is what I'm kind of seeing a vision. So for a number of you, again, I always say, you see the Star right in the Six of Cups with the Temperance card. Now, again, I'm hearing the Tower here with the Temperance card and the Star for a number of you. It's like, how do I also not get distracted by the involvement in my audience? Interesting. So okay, so for a number of you you play a very public role here. You have a huge audience for a number of you with the Magician, the Six of Cups, and the Star. There is a focus on what you feel you are storytelling about, and it's like, how do I not get too focused on the faces that are looking back at me? 10 of Wands in reverse right after here. So there's something that you feel. Wow, 10 of Pentacles right over the 10 of Wands. You are, you are delivering. I mean, you are recognizing, you are realizing that you feel, I'm hearing, at every moment in time, no matter who it is that you're talking to, no matter who it is that you are telling. I'm hearing also your story too. So for a number of you, this is perhaps something that you feel, you also don't, to say it in this way, Aries, this is something that you feel like, I don't want to just also get carried away by this space. The Chariot, the Hangman, and the Six of Cups. There's a focus perhaps on what your position is there, your title, your role, and it might be a creative space. It might be one that is related to even collaboration in some way with a number of people, and especially if it is creative. For you're like, how do I maintain my own voice, my own creative voice in this space that is inherently interactive? And that's what we want in a survey. We want to, right? We don't want to isolate our creative work or a creative process. We want to, let's say, involve others in that space. And to some degree, this is for a number of you, perhaps we want to feel that we're involving others also in our work. I'm hearing charity fund as well here for a number of you with the Six of Cups. You know, so that's wonderful. But how is it that we are also waking up? I'm hearing to our vision. I'm hearing every morning to say, how do we maintain and sustain really our vision? So for a number of you, and this has to do for a number of you with your level of empathy, the ability to feel also others. And that might be really, again, involved in this space to a significant degree. But the question is perhaps, how do I also temper that with my ability to direct this space? So this could even be like something that, again, you're in the process of teaching. Thank you so much for tuning in, loving the light. You enjoy the spirit Aries, and I'll see you soon. Aries, for a number of you, one more note, there is perhaps as well a focus on maintaining groundedness. And this can be also on a financial level where for a number you're like, okay, maybe you're even getting involved in a new business, and it might be something that is really creative or where there are maybe not so many boundaries, to say it in that way, like where let's say maybe you were working for a company and now you want to kind of freelance. And so the question might, or maybe you're even experimenting with something here. I'm not sure what that is alluding to. It could be some kind of program. Anyways, I am hearing herbs here with the Hanged Man. I'm hearing herbal remedies. I'm hearing ayahuasca, Three of Wands as well. I'm not sure what that's alluding to here with the Hanged Man, Three of Wands. Anywho, whatever that space is, it could be the kind of thing where you might be feeling like, well, I don't want to get carried away in that space. I don't want it to be something that I invest in also and I don't make money from. I'm hearing in that way with the Eight of Pentacles mirroring the Hanged Man. So for a number of you, this is a process of your vision and how it kind of eventually is also interesting. I'm hearing distributed. Okay. So I'm hearing in a tangible way. So you might actually be creating this for a number of you. I'm hearing Melissa, the letter M, real strongly here with the Tempest card, the Eight of Pentacles and Daughter of Pentacles. This is something that you're actually thinking about producing. You're perhaps actually thinking of even translating in the physical D. Okay, take it as you will. Eight of Pentacles. Okay. And the Daughter of Pentacles, it's something that you're thinking of even valuing. It could be even like a stock. I'm hearing that specifically. You might be thinking of selling something. Now, whatever it is, I'm hearing my silver jewelry case, Eight of Pentacles, and the Hangman. Now, whatever it is, yet again, and I'm seeing the Three of Wands at the base of the Hangman. Whatever it is, there is a focus on I'm hearing the closet. I'm hearing all together. Like, it's interesting. I'm seeing that for a number of you I'm hearing you're moving too fast. I'm not sure what that's about. Like, well, this is actually moving by very quickly for you, Aries. You want to watch it in slower motion, relatively. You can slow down the speed. All right, via the dial at the base of the reading. There should be 3 dots there. All right. Anywho, but Aries, again, for a number of you, there's something that perhaps you feel like I don't want to just like speed through the process as well. This is something perhaps you feel I want to really evaluate. One second. I want to learn. I also want to leave a good impression. For maybe perhaps you're getting involved in some space, but let's backtrack. Wait. Nope. Oh, levitation. Okay, so this is perhaps actually not a conscious process for a number of you, but you might be feeling the symptoms of this space of activation. I'm hearing of also your throat chakra. I'm hearing that specifically. And you might be kind of feeling like kind of wonky at times where you're like, I feel like I need to like kind of land. I'm hearing some, and it can be for a number of your visions where you're like, I have these huge visions. I have these huge conversations. I'm hearing also in my mind, in my mind's eye with myself. But I don't manifest it. I'm hearing that as you might feel it with the Eight of Pentacles. We're manifesting at every moment in time, right? That is not a destination, right? It's also not a speech, not something that we say. I'm hearing or do really. It is already done. I'm hearing that specifically in the moment that you make it. Wow, interesting. I'm hearing aware of the Ace of Pentacles. I'm hearing open to as well. Okay, so this is something for a number of you that you are also like you're handing someone, you're offering. It's even a decision. This is for a number of you, or even a promise that you feel you need to prepare for, perhaps for a number of you. Something that you even need to plan And I'm hearing pray with the Strength card. Pray with the Strength and the Ace of Pentacles. There's something that you feel you are really getting very close to starting. I'm hearing it in that way. It could be a passion of yours that you're thinking of taking up. And again, if this is the case, what I'm seeing is that it's a very exciting, it's super, super, super also experimental for a number of you. Again, where you're like, I have no idea where this can go. But at the same time, I'm seeing that you are almost like you're walking forward with I'm hearing your attraction in your hand. Okay, it's interesting. It's like, I'm really interested in this. But I don't want to just walk towards it. I want to I'm hearing create a table, okay, for me to talk about it at. Okay, funny. For me, this is actually a negotiation, and it has to do with your creative abilities. You're like, I don't want to just like have, you know, some contract here, you know, star me in it. The Father of Swords and the Father of Pentacles, feeling pressure, the heart chakra. For number, you're like, this is a level I'm hearing as well that I want to reach for. It's your vision, it's your goal. Here comes the Tower in reverse, mirroring the Father of Pentacles upright. There's something that you feel you need to lay a foundation with, and I'm hearing you come first here. I'm not sure what that's always take as you will. What is first? What is last? Okay. But there's something here of a focus on your financial interests. I'm hearing that. And what is financial, right? What are considered your assets? You know, it could be also your time. So if you're actually writing up a contract, there could be a focus on specifically that, right, aspect, where you're like, I need to know that I have time to, you know, carry out and perform certain tasks. I need to know and feel that I have enough time to also tend to my own needs. I'm hearing to tend to my needs. I'm hearing that with the Daughter comes up, right? I'm hearing on an emotional level, and it might be, you know, related to a sense of even scheduling. Some of you are scheduling or planning. All right, Aries, thank you so much again for tuning love and light to enjoy this period. Bye for now, Aries, yet again. Okay, with the High Priest in reverse, Daughter cups up, right? For number, this is to do with, again, your ability, your empathic abilities. And I'm hearing the letter TR. Okay, this is something that you are even in the process of training. I'm hearing training. Daughter of Cups, the High Priestess. This might have to do with also specifically grounding. I'm hearing that again, like, let's say you know you have this ability to also work with others on an energetic spiritual level, and you know the focus might be, well, definitely for a number of you, healing. Again, the Hermit coming through, mirroring the High Priestess. This is something that you feel, you know, there is also the physical side too. So for a number of you, it's like, I know also that I have perhaps this, you know, this visionary space, this imaginative ability of mine. I know that I also can interact with you know, these dimensions. I'm hearing of emotion and vision. The question is, I'm hearing about the closet. I'm not sure why that's alone to the Justice card, the Hermit, and the High Priestess. The question I'm hearing specifically is about the content around that space. And it can be physically, like for a number of you, perhaps you feel that, you know, there is also I'm hearing a third dimension to this space. Interesting. Where you're like, okay, again, I'm hearing this specific. I know that there is, let's say, this emotional paradigm. I know that, let's say, there's a spiritual paradigm to this space. The focus for me is right here, right now, on how it is that it is interacting with a third dimension. Interesting. Of what is physically, I'm hearing appreciated. Oh, so for a number of you, what is physical? Always take as you will. All physical matter is actually, right, also energetic. It is energetic. And you have the Temperance card and the Magician with the 9 of Pentacles. There's something that you feel you're also laying a foundation with spiritually. I'm hearing fundamentally. I'm hearing philosophically as well for a number of you. Like, you're like, I know that I'm instilling the platform right here with the Magician and the Temperance card looking into the future. And, mirroring the Hermit. And again, this has to do with your knowledge. I'm hearing specifically, I'm hearing a aftermarket Ace of Wands upright, mirroring the Hermit. Again, for now, you got some kind of ability, some kind of wisdom, some kind of knowledge. Again, I'm hearing training. Now, let's say it as well in this way. For a number of you, there's something that you feel you feel guided also to talk about. I'm hearing you feel compelled to also open up a community about, okay, the topic of, perhaps for me, I'm hearing the themes of, I'm hearing that as well. And so, for a number, I'm hearing stocks again. I'm hearing stock market. I'm hearing training again with the Magician and the Justice card. Now, let's backtrack here real quick, Aries. There's something that you feel you've also been stalling through. Wow, interesting. For it's related to how you physically also perform, how you physically present your work. And you have the Hanged Man reverse mirror, the Magician. For whenever you got perhaps a lot of water in your chart, a whole lot of Pisces, Neptunian energy. There's something perhaps that you've been even experienced on a personal level, and it might have also been what is felt to be like, yeah, absolutely, it has been a spiritual journey, and it's like, well, that process has been part of that dialect with the Magician and the Type of Star has been part of the conversation. Okay, that does involve, right, my more public figure. I'm hearing that I play out with. I'm hearing and through, but I've been manifesting. I'm hearing my mission. I'm hearing, once again, my moves. Interesting, with a Hangman. Now, to say that, well, it's a bit abstract. I know perhaps for a number of you, but there's something that you feel you've been really, it's been a process that's been unfolding. You've been kind of immersed in this space, I'm hearing as well, and it can absolutely be related to the past. I'm hearing emotion, the Chariot mirroring the Moon and the Hangman. It could be some kind of experience or series of big time for a number of you, a series of experiences that you may have had that have really actually talk to you. I'm hearing very clearly about your gifts, and I'm hearing it in this way, the turns that you see yourself taking. So to say in the way that perhaps even experiences in the quote unquote past, perhaps in some shape or form, in some way, have kind of led to your future, like what I experienced in some, or yes, the experience that I may have had and the experience that you may have had. It would, just in that way, have kind of also inspired, okay, and it could be, yes, have inspired I'm hearing your program. I'm hearing in that way. And again, for now, it could be something that you're launching even. It can be like a self-help space. I'm hearing mentorship as well. The Magician, I'm hearing degree program. It could be something that you're even thinking about getting registered in the space of Three of Wands leading you out. Mirroring the Six of Cups, the Magician with the Temperance card, again, looking in the future. I'm hearing long and hard. Okay, and what they're looking at is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups just landed right over Three of Wands, and the Ace of Cups flipped over in this spread, mirroring the Two of Swords. Yeah, for a number of you, there's something that you feel it's not just something that you do. I'm hearing in that you're like, I know that, look, I got this vision. It's not just about staring at it and starting it. I'm hearing there's been a process of emotional preparation as well that has been divinely guided. I'm hearing guided. I'm hearing, and I can't just also, this is for a number of you, make any kind of decision in that space that is purely logical. Like for a number of reps, you feel like it's not, or it's not just logical. I'm not just going to come, here and kind of, I'm hearing indirectly describe something that I feel I don't quite know entirely yet. Okay, so for now, you're like, I don't want to call it out. Maybe you don't even want to sign a contract. I'm hearing that as well. This is for a select number. I'm hearing Sam. I'm hearing S here. I'm hearing Sam Smith specifically with a Hierophant reverse, mirroring the Justice card upright. So there's something perhaps, not to say that, there is no interest, but to say that there is, I'm hearing stalling. I'm hearing that specifically, like a whole lot of stalling specifically. When it comes to creating an evolution of these experiences. What was that? Knock, knock, knock. Okay. I'm hearing Emma here with the Magician. I'm hearing Emma training. I'm hearing trainer with the Magician and the Father of Swords. Son of Cups in reverse. Okay, let's, I'm hearing landing. I'm hearing as well. Let's clear the energy. For a number of you, you're working with a whole new community, but as well, for a number of you, it's not just like a new community. This is something that you've been actually, I'm hearing calling up your mother for quite some time now, like something you've been reviewing. It could actually be something that if you feel like you're reviewing on an emotional level. Okay, it could be something that you're even in the process of revealing, as it may be felt, like you feel like you're revealing something here as well. And again, it could be your gifts, your talents, your abilities. It could be somewhat of a process, though, also of merging your emotional, also understandings and experiences within the space of what you're physically creating. What you're also formally professionally recognizing. Okay, so for a number of you, it's like, how do I take my vision and what I love and I kind of title it? That I think has been for a number of you a huge question. Okay, in your also meditation space, I'm hearing because what I'm seeing is that there is something of this focus on like what you emotionally feel very connected to, okay? And it's like something kind of personal as well. Perhaps for now, you're like, this is my emotional experience. I'm hearing that again with the Hangman reverse. Like even cyclically, it might have to do with the planet of Neptune in your chart in particular, and it may have to do with even the physical body healing. I'm hearing that specifically. I'm seeing that number 11 and 9. For a number of you, there's something that there is a propensity that perhaps you feel you have, and it may be right that which is related to also your meditative abilities. And so again, the question perhaps is, well, how do I track that space as well? How do I kind of also manage it? All right, thank you so much again for tuning 11 light to you. No, Aries, it's relentless. It is relentless. Okay, lots of energy here. Not in a bad way. I'm all right. There's something that perhaps you feel again like you've been in the process of, I'm hearing it's been a journey here with the Magician, the Hermit, the Daughter of Pentacles, and the Moon. There's been a matter of, well, how do I kind of drastically, I'm hearing also change the space. One second, the 5 of Wands coming through. Okay, and the Death card reverse. 1 second. Oh, okay. So for a number of you, there are like a number of steps perhaps that you feel you are to take. I'm hearing, how do I staple the pages together? Okay, I'm hearing balance. And there goes the Justice card right on the ground. That speaks of balance, specifically archetype of Libra. But I'm hearing branding. How do I brand this space of my ability? Like, and it's kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie, for a number of you, perhaps you feel like I have this like gift. I know it's a spiritual gift, but I feel weird when it comes to the point of like, of announcing it. I'm hearing that as well. Yeah, big time for a number of you. I'm seeing somebody, I'm hearing Laura, I'm hearing Lori, Laura, I'm hearing the letter L. Laura, I'm hearing again, I'm seeing, yep, okay, the Hermit, I'm seeing aqua green nail polish, like a green nail polish color. I'm hearing even seafoam green. Ace of Swords, right. Now let's backtrack though. For a number of you, it's like, I'm hearing 11 with the Hermit. Perhaps your life path, the number 11. Big time for a number of you, perhaps. For a number of you, perhaps you feel like there's something that I'm hearing you are like, it has to do with your message. Like for a number of you have dreams even, and you're like, perhaps feeling that you can get carried away in that space. Perhaps for a number, you feel something very strongly, and the question is, well, how do I communicate about that? 1 second. I'm hearing it's about the verb choice, the Hermit. Not sure what that's about. Okay, let's clear the energy. Yeah, there's something you're even deciding on. It could be a program for a number of you. It could be something that it could be a community that you're thinking of getting involved in as well, and or very clearly associating with in some way eventually. I'm hearing addressing as well, and you may be dealing with a Pisces. It may be some space again of healing, spiritual work, spirituality for a number of you. It could be something that you're thinking about even directing the space of, and it's like, I know again, I could absolutely take this on. I know I could do this. 1 second. But, oh, somebody wants to leave room for growth. I'm hearing that specifically with the 7 of Pentacles. Yep. And this 3 of Wands in reverse. There's something that somebody feels they don't want to kind of sacrifice also the image of for the sake of talking about. Okay. It's like, if we talk about this space, perhaps this is what somebody's thinking. They're like, how will it change? I'm hearing Jeremy. I'm hearing also the letter G. Now let's backtrack. For now, you're like, I want to practice. Okay. I want to even experiment again. I'm hearing in that way in this space. And perhaps it's just, simply in the way of, well, I want to remain open to it. I want to kind of see where it can go. I'm hearing that as well. That always takes you all. Aries, love and light to you. Bye.